welcome back to today's video. I hope you guys have all been very well, and I really do hope you guys are taking note on what to do moving forward into 2020 from a social media and digital marketing perspective. Now within today's video, I'm actually going to slightly move to the left and actually not necessarily go through social media digital marketing, but actually my 3 main tips on being able to ensure productivity and help myself move my business forward. So with that being said, tip number 1 is actually meditation. Now this is my biggest, I feel, tip that has helped me move myself forward, move my business forward. And you can notice that this actually isn't necessarily about the business, it's more about myself. Now with meditation, what it's been able to do is actually help me focus in, really identify, really what I want to be able to achieve. Now there's different types of meditation where you can set the intention of the day, which is what I used to do beforehand, which was as soon as I get up, I'd have my lemon water, I'd have my greens, and then I'd sit down and I'd actually meditate for 20 minutes. And usually within that meditation, because this one was guided, it actually goes through, what you're grateful for, what you've been able to achieve, what you do want to achieve, and things like that. And, that's all good and well. But now for me, meditation, I actually use and leverage that as I move into my business day. So as an example, before I start my day, before I go into my working block, I actually set aside 15 minutes beforehand where I'm actually literally just solely focusing in on being able to literally focus, if that makes sense. Now, for those who aren't aware about meditation, the best way that I would highly recommend you jumping into it firstly is actually downloading an app called Headspace. Now, within Headspace, it actually gives you, I think, the first 10 sessions for free. Then after that, you've got to pay a subscription of some sorts, but it actually goes through a guided 10-minute session where he literally just walks you through being able to calm the mind. And again, because of social media, because of a lot of the technology that we have these days, which notifications left, right, and center, it's very hard to actually focus in on one simple task. And also with people who preach multitasking and the benefits of it, there are countless studies upon studies which show that multitasking in terms of moving the business forward is probably something you should never do. And again, because say for example, you've got 10 points and you've got 5 tasks at hand, or let's just say you've got 10 tasks at hand, and those 10 tasks range from important to probably least important. If you spread yourself at least 1 point across those 10 tasks, you're actually moving every task forward 1 bit, but you're actually accomplishing nothing. However, if you actually solely put those 10 points on that one specific task, and that's usually the most important task that you want to do that day, you'll know that you'll move the entire business forward, whatever you want to achieve, and you get a lot more done. So for the tools that you want to use to get into meditation, that is number 1, Headspace. Best app to start off with, which is guided. If you don't want to get Headspace, just jump onto YouTube and then type in meditation. You've got guided, unguided. You also can look in binaural beats and other tools that you want to be able to use. But for me, I actually use an app called brain.fm. So step number 2 in my productivity tips is actually sleep. Now, you guys may be out there going, what am I listening to? What am I watching? This is completely not what I was expecting. Now, hear me out, because a lot of these practices here that I've been able to implement are tools and practices that I've actually got from successful entrepreneurs who've been able to move their businesses forward, and they preach and say that these specific tasks or these tools here help them move forward. Now, if they're doing things like this and it's free to do and free to implement, then why not? So if they've got the successes that you want, if they've got the goals that you want to aspire to and attain, it's always good to just understand and see what practices that they're doing and being able to implement it yourself. Now with sleep, there's tools that you can use that can help monitor and manage your sleep, but the best thing to do is to make sure that you can, say for example, you want to get up at 5 o'clock, count back and see, but generally between 8 or 9 hours worth of sleep is good for the human body. Now, depending on how old you are and stuff like that, you can actually research, but usually between the 8 and 9 hours is ideal and recommended. Now, also to move that forward, you want to be able to go to sleep at the same time. So, and you also want to wake up at the same time. And usually it isn't 8 hours of time that you spent in bed. It's 8 hours of actually sleeping and being able to hit the types of sleep, which is REM, deep sleep, light sleep, and again, you've got so many tools out there that you can use to identify the metrics on whether or not the sleep quality was good, whether or not the sleep latency was high or low. You can also look at the sleep quality in terms of how many times you woke up, how deep or how long you're in the deep sleep, how long you're in REM sleep. There's all these metrics that you can actually analyze and you just really go through. But just to simplify it, making sure that you go to sleep at the same time and waking up at the same time, even throughout the weekends, is going to help you move your business forward. Now, there's tools that I've been able to use, which for me, I'm using a Fitbit at the moment, which monitors the REM, deep, and how many times I wake up. But also, there's other tools like the Aura Ring, which goes into a lot more detail. It actually highlights how fast you actually go to sleep, the quality of sleep, the Whoop Band as well, which is, I think it's relatively new, but it actually goes through a lot more in-depth data on how well you've slept. So as an example, if your sleep was pretty average, then they would recommend that you do not strain yourself if you're training the next day, and to make sure that you hold yourself at a certain threshold so you don't overdo it and actually leads to sickness. And in these metrics, you can actually see yourself becoming sick well before you actually do have the symptoms of becoming sick, based on, I guess, heart rate, elevated body temperature as well. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But again, just to dumb it down, or to make it easier for those to consume who are just made aware of it, sleeping at the same time and prioritizing your sleep every single day is going to help basically your body thrive, which then, once your body thrives, you're actually taking that into your business there. So again, sleep is very, very big. So we've done number 1, which is that meditation. Number 2 is sleep. Third, last but not least, is actually something called planning tomorrow today. Now, it's a concept that I got from an actual entrepreneur by the name of Sam Ovens, and he's a Kiwi boy who's based over in the States, but he's really been able to systemize and do a lot of things that has made his business so efficient that he can move it and scale it out significantly. Now, that's actually off a bigger scheme, which is the war chart or the war map that he speaks about, which is basically identifying the whole year, what goals you want to set and what goals you want to achieve, and then breaking them down from yearly to monthly, monthly to weekly, weekly to daily, daily to hourly, and really starting to get into sort of that routine or into that system where you can identify that the tasks that you do day in, day out is actually moving yourself towards that big goal that you wanted to do at the start of the year. So those who are watching this in December, I would highly recommend going down and just downloading that spreadsheet from, that he gives out for free, which is pretty cool. So going back to the concept of planning tomorrow today, and again, if you don't want to go to that length of detail of being able to scale out or identify what goals you want to achieve that year, having something like as simple as a daily planner, and really basically identifying the 3 main tasks that you need to do the following day. So again, planning tomorrow today and having that written down, that will literally help you move forward, because what you do is you're actually being a little bit more efficient as well that following day. When you come into the office, before you meditate, if you do meditate beforehand, you don't have to identify, you don't have to think about what task you're doing. It's already there written down. The last thing you want to do in that morning is just go, okay, what do I need to do? Where am I at? And some people do get away with that, and some people can actually operate like that. But for me, I like to plan my day. I like to make sure that I know what I'm doing the following day. So as soon as I get in, I'm just executing and going straight into it. So again, number 1, the biggest one in my opinion, is meditation and implementing that. And again, it's very easy. Go through those tasks that I gave you. Number 2 is prioritizing your sleep, making sure that you have adequate amount of sleep, and then also leveraging off tools that you can use to really optimize your sleep. And last but not least is planning tomorrow today. And again, a lot of these tasks and a lot of these tools that I've been able to leverage and use are tools that aren't necessarily done on that day. They're actually tools that are done the day before, or just habitual practices that you do before you jump into your workday. And you could say that's the foundations or the building blocks that you can use to move forward. So I hope this is of value. I hope you guys do get some value from my 3 main priority, productivity tips that I've been able to leverage. And be sure to let me know in the comment section down below, hey, if you guys do implement meditation, let me know how you guys do it. Also, if you guys have any thoughts around sleep, what you think about it, the perceived perception of, hustling and grinding for 24 hours in comparison to, slowly but surely, habitually, planning tomorrow today, making sure that you're being a lot more efficient and executing a lot better in the 4-hour block that you probably work that day, in opposed to 20 hours. And just also thoughts on planning tomorrow today. Would love to see what you guys think, and if you guys have any other tools that you would recommend. Anyway, that's the video for today. If you guys do like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, and as well, if you do want these type of videos to come out, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and no doubts I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.